All right, hello everyone. We are back for another guide here. We're going to be running kind of side-by-side shots here. So I earlier did this hole for you guys. We're going to scale back a little bit. Now that we have a good enough sniper, your alternative, if you don't have a sniper 8 or higher, and you want to do a similar shot to what I'm going to do, you're going to need to switch to a Guardian. So if you want to see statistically, especially if you have a decent Guardian, you always want to go off the accuracy and use the yards per ring. So for example, for this hole, my sniper is going to have 100 accuracy, and the Guardian is going to have a 90. Which means we're going to have very good chance of hitting the island and not missing it. Additionally, I want you guys to know we're going to play about 1.2 per ring. We're going to play more of a mid-club adjustment. So let's just say hypothetically I was using something else, Viper, for some unknown reason. All right, well, it could be happening in pro. You want to make sure that you have enough backspin to do so. The number that you're looking at is in the 50s. It needs to be at least 50 something. 60's even better. So if you have, say, accuracy 72, well, that means it's 1.4 per ring. But we're going to play 1.7 per ring for our adjustment here. That's more of a mid-club adjustment. So keep that tip in mind when we go about playing this island top, because you can over-adjust your rings too much. So that's what we're going to do, is we're going to focus on a min club adjustment, or well, very close to min, but more of a mid club. So so my min club adjustment is 1.3. I'm going to come in on that just slightly to 1.2. And vice versa, no matter what club you guys are using, really doesn't matter. Just come in on that max adjustment. That's the biggest tip I can give you guys for this one. And make sure that you have 60-ish, 55, 60 on the backspin, or else you're not going to have enough. So what you're going to see me do is use, that, what is that, 6-ish backspin. But, if you have less backspin, you can just land more towards the front of the island. We're going to, especially for improved accuracy purposes, we're going to play more towards the mid like this. And like I mentioned, we're going to play 1.2-ish per ring. I'm going to go just a hair under 5 full rings here. Keep it in mind that I also had my ball guide just to the right, because it is going to be in a side wind. It is going to shoot more towards the left. So keep in mind that I'm still a little bit of an underplay. So it's all about honing in on how much you need to counter that wind, since it's a side wind. Because you can see I was still underplaying that wind a little bit. So keep in mind that before I set up, my ball guide was to the right of the hole, and then I'm using more of that 1.2 per ring adjustment. Like I mentioned, right around 5 rings for a 6 is going to be about spot on. And you don't want to deviate from that too much. More than anything, you want to do it with some side spin or some curl and try to straighten out that wind. So notice the island here, you can't really do an overplay adjustment. If you do, you start to bring the rough into play. As you can see kind of where my opponent is aiming. And you can see he did, very similarly, he did about a 5-ring adjustment with a 1-ring pull, and it's landing very left. So that's he went about 6 rings, and it was very spot on. So you can see kind of, the effects firsthand of what happened there. And that kind of is the tip to this one, is you're just going to want to, hone in on that adjustment. Try to use the side spin to kind of straighten out that wind. So I'd use about 2 side spin, 2-ish side spin, and just try to, get the ball to kind of straighten back out. And hopefully you guys can get this online. It is going to be very holdable, but it's also going to, there's some kind of weird bumps on the green. So you do need to get it grooved right into the, right into that little perfect region to actually get the hole out. But it is going to be very holdable. So, I wish you guys luck there. As you can see, all things considered, an easy win like this, I'm just going to go for this. Just mess around with it. I don't care if I win. I don't care if I lose. So I'm just going to, and what I usually do is a little bit towards min adjustment here. So, you know, 6 some rings. I do go, when I'm pulling back towards min, you know, I take off a little bit of the adjustment. So I might just go 6.2-ish rings there, or 6.9. Let's try that. Perfect ball. Let's see what this looks like. And it does spin out. It's coming up a bit short. So it looks like I went a bit too many rings, because I did come up with just a tiny bit short. So same thing, you know, with my opponent here. If he was to go, you know, 10 rings here, it would be too many. The same thing, same kind of thing would apply here. Not to mention, there's, especially, so my opponent's going to be going towards the OB. There's a way that you can land in this bunker that it'll fry egg in the bunker, so you want to try to avoid that. In additionally to the fried egg, you can also land short. If you land 2 rings short of where my opponent's aiming, he will be OB. So quite a few things can go wrong here. So this is not the safest of all shots. I don't really recommend it for all things considered, but you know, it does, you know, have its advantages. It's a super easy, straightforward shot, and there you can see my opponent edged me out. So, you know, it was kind of the thing, his ricocheted through the bunker and mine just got caught up in the sand. I think I might have even had more topspin on than he did. So it just kind of just shows you the inconsistencies of that bunker play. So keep that in mind. You know, I just kind of show you guys that just because, you know, I don't really hit that shot very often. I'm more prone to just do it in the tournament. We're going to be forfeiting out a bunch of shootouts anyway, so I'm just going to kind of go for, you know, the more high-risk shot. But when we actually play it for in the tournament, we're definitely not going for that shot. Too much can go wrong, so keep that in mind. See you guys next time.